If you are new to the Browns Report and you're looking for mock drafts, well, you have found the right place for it. So subscribe to the Browns Report here on YouTube. If you love Browns mock drafts and you are all about finding different mock drafts throughout the entire offseason, because I, for one, love mock drafts, live for mock drafts, so you are in the right place if that's what you're looking for. Today's Browns Report is presented to you by the Fetch Rewards app, where you can earn points on any receipt from any store or restaurant and then redeem those points for gift cards and other great rewards. Get started at chatsports.com/fetch. Use that promo code Cleveland and you will be on your way to 3,000 bonus points. We'll tell you more about them later on. But today's video is all about a Browns mock draft that came out of Pro Football Focus. We'll react to it, see who they have the Browns taking at number 13, and who they don't have the Browns taking, because that's a lot of mock drafts. There's a lot of who do you have them taking, but also the other side of the coin. Who do you not have them taking, and why do you have them passing up on them? But PFF with the 13th overall pick, drum roll please, had the Browns taking a wide receiver, Jameson Williams. Well, the wide receiver part comes as no surprise, but Jameson Williams, a bit of a surprise, only because most of the mock drafts we have seen at this point have Cleveland selecting Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. So now we get a little fresh breath of air here, a change of pace, and I like the pick a lot. Jameson Williams was the top wide receiver across many big boards before he tore his ACL in the national championship game, and he is just a dynamic wide receiver. He won the Bilkinoff Wide Receiver Award, however you pronounce that, for the best wide receiver in college football last year. He's a major deep threat, but he does a lot of great things too. He's not just a one-trick pony that's got a good set of wheels on him and that's all he's able to do. No, you can use him in a variety of ways. Excellent route runner, and the numbers for Jameson Williams this season, they speak for themselves. Nearly 80 receptions, over 1,500 yards, 15 scores, and average just about 20 yards per grab. The average, I think, is the most important stat to take away from this. When you average 20 yards a reception, you are a player that defensive coordinators do not sleep well before they play you. He is a big-time, deep threat, home run kind of player, and the Browns, we need a home run kind of player. The Browns need to go out and get someone who can jumpstart an offense, who can turn things around. I look at Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson comes in there, and he just changes the game. Not even having to change the quarterback, which is usually step one to change an offense. No, Jefferson walks in and changes it because of the threat he poses. And I think Jameson Williams has that level to him. I want you guys to grade the pick for me. Let me know in the comment section if you give this an A, B, C, D, or F. I love the pick a lot. I'm giving it an A. But let me know what you think down below, because here at Chat Sports, we're all about audience interaction. So I want to know what you have to say in the comment section. PFF had these players going around the Browns at number 13. So just to give you a bit of a rough idea of what the landscape looked like in their mock draft, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, the corner out of Cincinnati, to Washington at 11. They have the Vikings taking Nakobe Dean, the linebacker from Georgia. Then, of course, Williams to the Browns at 13. Baltimore helps their offensive line with a name you should keep an eye on, by the way. And if you can pronounce it, bravo to you. Ikeono, I probably got that half wrong. But he's a very, very large human being. And then Devin Lloyd, one of the best linebackers we've seen in quite some time, falls to the Eagles at 15. Jameson Williams, though, I think will lose sleep for scouts. He's one of those type of players that if you don't game plan for him appropriately, he can wreck a game. He can destroy a game. I'm not saying he's the next Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, but I do think his ceiling is one of those, like those players where Joe Burrow just says, F it. Jamar's down there somewhere, and that's all the offense has to do. And I think Williams, his ceiling is that high, where if he's on, yeah, it doesn't matter what you schemed up on defense. If you didn't include a double team on Jameson Williams the whole game, he'll wreck the game. So I like this pick a lot for the Cleveland Browns. It kind of reminds me also a little bit of the 2020 NFL Draft. And I want you guys to take a look at this, because the best name of those five is the last one taken, Justin Jefferson. And I don't want the Browns to make the same mistake those four other teams ahead of the Vikings, especially the Eagles, made, which is I wouldn't say overthinking it because Henry Ruggs, which we're not going to get into, but, Jerry Jeudy is not a bad pick by the Broncos. He's had a good start to his career. CeeDee Lamb, great start to his career in Dallas. Jalen Reagor, that's just a miss, all right? But the other three were not misses. But there's no doubt Justin Jefferson is the best of those five. So don't let Williams tearing his ACL in the national championship game make you want to push him back a couple spots, and then in a couple of years you'll look back and go, we could have had Jameson Williams. What were we thinking? Next up on the show, we'll check out the other wide receiver options, see who else PFF had going around the mock draft. So stay tuned for that. We will not leave you hanging. But who do you want the Browns to go out and pick? Let me know what you think down below. I like Jameson Williams. I also like Garrett Wilson a ton. And we'll talk about Wilson as well and kind of compare the two. But let me know, who do you want the Browns to pick in the upcoming 2022 NFL Draft? I want to tell you guys now about the Fetch Rewards app. It's an awesome app, and it's super easy and free to use. And when you go to chatsports.com/fetch and you use that promo code Cleveland, you can earn points on any receipt from any store or restaurant. And when I say any store or restaurant, I mean it. And you can redeem those points for gift cards from any store or restaurant. Look right there. If you want Starbucks, you want a good Starbucks in the morning, boom, get a free gift card by just scanning a receipt. That's simple. CVS, or what you're about to see, which is a great option. Let's say you want to go dine somewhere in Cleveland, get a gift card for it. Or if you want to go to a road Browns game next year, you can do that with a gift card from Airbnb or other hotels. They have so many options, the Fetch Rewards app, and all it requires you to do is literally take a picture, basically, of your receipt, and you get bonus point, you get points, and then you redeem those points for gift cards. It is as simple as that. Get started. We'll have all the information for this in the comments section of the video, also in the description. If you want to get on the next Browns report, all you got to do is follow these 4 simple steps. Go on Twitter right now and take a screenshot once you download the Fetch Rewards app. Tag, don't just DM, but tag at Fetch Rewards and myself at Matthew Petey. It's right there. Screenshot of the app. Include, if you want, in the tweet who your top draft target is, and I'll get your tweet on the next or the next after Browns report. So get a shout out on the show by getting started with the Fetch Rewards app. Follow those 4 simple steps. Tag at Fetch Rewards and myself at Matthew Petey. When you download the Fetch Rewards app, take a screenshot. Include your top draft target. Let me know what you're thinking and get on a Browns report. Get started today. Other wide receivers taken in Pro Football Focus's latest mock draft. Garrett Wilson was the first wide receiver off the board. He went to the New York Jets at number 10. Then, we have Williams. Drake London, which is a name I have been watching closer lately because he appears to be really rising up the ranks. He falls to the Eagles at number 19. Chris Olave goes to the Raiders. Honestly, kind of reminds me of the Henry Ruggs pick a little bit, just the way their two players played on the field. Treylon Burks, another name we'll talk about a little bit more in just a moment. He's an ascending name. He goes to the Titans at 26. And then Jahan Dotson, maybe a Chris Godwin replacement, also a Penn State guy, because maybe Godwin signed to the Browns. Maybe I'm just going to talk it into existence. Who's your favorite wide receiver, though, from this class? I've seen a lot of love for Garrett Wilson, and I'm part of that, that love triangle too. But let me know what you think in the comments. Who are your favorite wide receivers? Seeing plenty of Treylon Burks and Drake London talk down there as well. So sound off in the comments section. Treylon Burks and Drake London are 2 names just to keep an eye on and keep tabs on other mock drafts and draft targets across Browns and NFL draft media circles, because their names are rising up very quickly, and this is part of the NFL draft where even though Drake London hasn't played since November 1st, October 31st, whenever he broke his ankle, all of a sudden his stock has just rised up despite not being on the field for the last 2 months of the season. Burks, a huge target that can move, and that's really the 1-2 punch you want, right? Big size and plenty of speed. So those are 2 names to keep an eye on as the draft talk picks up more and more. For me, it kind of comes down to this. Is it Jameson Williams or Garrett Wilson for the Browns? The Browns have the 13th overall pick. I'm guessing 1 wide receiver gets taken before them. Maybe 2, but not 3. So I think the Browns will have their kind of pick -1 at that number 13 spot when they get on the clock at number 13. Garrett Williams, Garrett Wilson. No, Garrett Williams. Too many W's. Garrett Wilson has been the number 1 name floated around the Cleveland Browns at the 13th overall pick. But Jameson Williams, if he doesn't tear his ACL, does he get more talk and more love? Possibly. Probably. I just think in 2022, you shouldn't knock a guy because of their injury history when you know how good players are from rebounding from injuries. Look at the numbers now between Jameson Williams and Garrett Wilson. Williams beats him in every category. It's also college football, and you really can't read too much into just head-to-head stats because these two guys played very different schedules. Also, Williams played 4 more games than Wilson. So it's not really fair, and you got to take a lot more into account. But it's at least a rough idea of where they stack up against one another. And I like Jameson Williams a little bit more than Garrett Wilson. But don't get me wrong, if the Browns end up with Garrett Wilson, I would also be pumped about that too. That's why I come back to this. I would date Garrett Wilson, but I'd want to marry Jameson Williams. And that sounds weird because it is a little weird. But that's kind of where I stand between these two guys. I would love to have Garrett Wilson on the Browns. If that's what they pick at 13, I would want to get his jersey. I'd be a big believer. But I'd also like the idea a lot of Jameson Williams because his upside just seems so much higher than Garrett Wilson. So that's where I kind of stand on those two names, which appear to be the most floated around the Browns at number 13. Wrap up the video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'm always talking about the Browns at Matthew Petey. And also that way you can get yourself on the next Browns Report when you tag myself and Fetch Rewards. So make sure you get that started today. And we'll catch you guys later here on the Cleveland Browns Report.